Hi there, I'm Chris Berman. We got a lot of games to cover, so let's get to it. In our first game this week, we had the Browns end up with an 8-point victory. In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the Lions pick up their third win of the season. The 49ers won this contest, but will stay at the fourth place in the NFC West. Charles Tillman played well despite the loss and showed us why he's ranked up at the top of the league. T.J. Duckett rushed for 2 touchdowns and helped his Falcons beat the Panthers. By the warm waters of Tampa Bay, we had the Buccaneers put on a show and come out on top by 20. Up at Giant Stadium, we had the Giants lose by a narrow 5-point margin. The Packers airmailed 300-plus yards in their victory at Lambeau Field. The Colts won at home and will stay home for next week's game when they meet the Chargers. In a long-standing AFC rivalry, we had the Dolphins pick up their 8th win of the year. We had an interesting free agency pickup of note here. Trey's got the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Chris. Let's switch gears and talk about players that'll have new homes in the National Football League, as free agency continues to play such a huge role in determining a team's makeup. Collins is on the move. Perhaps not for all that he thought he'd get, but a good deal nonetheless. 4 years, $1.5 million.
The Chiefs won this contest, but will stay at the first place in the AFC West. Donnie Abraham had a stellar game, but all said and done, his performance wasn't enough to lift his team to a victory. We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Boomer, thanks. Luckily, we had a relatively injury-free week, which makes my job just that much easier. Chike Okafor might be the biggest loss on this list. The team doctors have reported a pulled hamstring, and he'll be out for the rest of the regular season. So that'll do it for now. Chris, let's send it back to you.
Mark Bolger went to the end zone 4 times and helped his Rams beat the Cardinals. In the Queen City, Cincinnati, we had the Bengals get nipped by 3 points. Over at Lincoln Financial Field, we had the Eagles come away with a brutal 18-point victory. And last but not least, we had the Titans come away victorious.
All right, Boomer, thanks. Just 2 weeks to go until the playoffs arrive, and just as we do every year, we're looking at a number of interesting races as teams jockey for position. We'll start it out in the AFC. Meanwhile, over in the NFC, the playoff picture looks like this. So that's how things shape up. Still plenty of intriguing matchups upcoming as we get closer and closer to January. And that'll do it from here. Chris, let's send it back over to you.
So with just 2 weeks to go now, still plenty to be decided before January rolls around. But first, my primetime players' game balls go out to these men, each helping their team down the stretch. That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.